be talking about the urine formation. We're going to start with the basic structure of the kidney. So as you can see, the basic structures we start with the fibrous capsule, which is the outer layer of the kidney. As we move in, we have the renal cortex, and then we have the renal pyramids, which are these shaded in areas which make up the renal medulla. In between each renal pyramid, we have the renal columns, which is an extension of the renal cortex. And then we have, moving down, we have the renal pelvis, which is made up when the minor and major calyx come together and form the renal pelvis here. And then we come down into the ureter. So the urine formation process begins in the renal cortex, where we find the nephron, which extends into the renal pyramids. The process begins in the glomerulus, which is we come over here. So the glomerulus produces glomerular filtrate, called filtration, which is the materials is pushed by blood pressure due to the decrease in size of the afferent arteriole, which is this right here, coming into the glomerular, into the glomerulus. The materials remaining in the bloodstream that cannot pass through into the glomerular wall include blood cells, plasma proteins, large anions, and most molecules. Materials that pass through the filter include water, electrolytes, glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, urea, uric acid, and creatine. The next step is tubular reabsorption. At this point, it is still filtrate, is not urine. The proximal convoluted tubular, or PCT, which is right here, this big coiled part here is a PCT. It reabsorbs most of the glomerular filtrate back into the peritubular capillaries, which are all these capillaries right over here. That is a netting over the nephron. Then the nephron loop right here, which it comes, as we can see, comes down, which the descending limb and the ascending limb, and the distal convoluted tubular as well, which is up here, this less curvy part. You can see it a little bit better right here. So the DCT. So they work to absorb more water. Then the tubular secretion takes place, extracting chemicals from the blood and secreting them into the filtrate. Anything toxic or too big to be removed in the first process is removed by the tubular secretion. The final step is urine formation, is water conservation. This takes place primarily in the collecting duct right here, which comes from the DCT into the collecting duct. Once the duct flows through the renal medulla, so if we come over here, so the connecting duct is going to flow through the renal medulla. The water is reabsorbed to further concentrate urine up to 4 times the original concentration. Then comes through down the renal pelvis and into the ureter.